fabulous friends. Welcome to my weekly Sexy Stainless Talks. My book, Sexy Stainless, is about the 10 timeless sexy assets that lie within you. Every week, I invite a special guest here in my house in New York City for a glass of champagne, some tea, and talk about their favorite or her favorite chapter of the book. My special guest today is Marjorie Hall, who is a great friend of mine, and you're going to be surprised of her experience because she's the Chief Marketing Officer of the Corporate Social Responsibility Department of Publish Group, right? Mm-hmm. And she has 20 years of experience in the corporate world, both domestically and internationally. Thank you for being here, darling.
Thank you for having me. I love this book. I mean, I'm so proud of you and how quickly you put this together. And this really is so Louisa. And I'm proud to be here. And hopefully we can glean some knowledge from my favorite chapter.
Yes.
All about knowledge.
Exactly. Today we're going to be talking about Marjorie's favorite chapter of the book. But I want to remind you that the interview is going to be for 10 minutes, and then we are going to be open for Q&A for 10 more minutes. So we have two sections today of the interviews and Q&A. So please send us your questions, text us, send your questions, and if you have any question about the timeless, sexy assets that we are going to be discussing. So, darling, what is your favorite? You were saying your favorite chapter of the book is?
Yeah, is knowledge. Because knowledge, I think, is the most sexy aspect that a woman or a man can have, really. I mean, what turns you on when you meet someone? I mean, yes, there's chemistry, but there has to be more than just the physical connection. Knowledge and what you bring to the table, understanding what's going on in the world.
Exactly.
Knowing a little bit more than just pop culture.
Yes, well, and you have 20 years of experience. So
in corporate.
Yes, in the corporate world. And that's why it's so important to talk to you about education, because right now, what is important in education with the millennials? Can you, how important is finishing school?
Finishing school is critical. I mean, in this day and age, I mean, it's different than when it was maybe 30 years ago. While not everybody went to college. Now, college is the basic. I mean, you have to go to college. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go to a 4-year college. Yeah. I mean, you could go to a technical school, a 2-year school, but you have to, obviously you have to get your high school diploma. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. But then, unfortunately, you have to, not unfortunately, but it's just a fact of life, you have to go on and you have to get either a technical education, a 2-year degree, or a 4-year degree. And if you really want to succeed in some of the bigger cities in the world, whether it's New York or LA or San Francisco or Paris and London, you have to definitely get a 4-year degree.
And what are the advantages? What is really the advantage of it?
Okay, I don't necessarily use algebra. I mean,
calculus, statistics,
or my marine biology degree. You know, I don't really use that on a day-to-day basis. But what it does, it teaches you a different way to see the world. You're going to be away from your hometown. Yeah. You're going to be meeting people from such diverse backgrounds that it helps you think in a different way. For me, that's all really what university, and I was, the
real experience, the real world.
The real world, real life. I mean, real world and real life starts after university, but it really gives you a lot more depth to your character if you go and get a further education.
So what do you recommend, for example, if the student finishes their 4-year degree? Do you recommend them go immediately to have an MBA, or what is exactly do you say?
Because then you're going to be called a professional student. And there's actually a term in the sense of you do your 4-year degree and you still don't know what you want to do in life. So therefore, when in doubt, you get either an MBA or a JD, which is a law degree. And don't fall for that, because what's going to end up happening is that you're going to graduate, you're going to be one of the older ones trying to find a job, and you have 0 work experience. What you do is you get your 4-year degree or your technical education, and then you work for several years. And it doesn't matter how low on the totem pole you are with a company. It doesn't matter the role itself. Pick a great company to work for, and then you'll work your way up. And then you can decide if you want to go back to grad school. But
Exactly.
I really would not recommend grad school immediately
Yes,
after
because it ends is just experience.
Yes.
You need to have the experience.
And life. You need to
Life.
live a little bit. You
Yes.
need to get out
It's-
of the school environment. You need to get a real job.
Exactly. And from your observation of your college, how do you think they portray knowledge of lack of?
Right. I love my colleagues. And I think that for me, from my perspective, is I have the international angle, right? So I was born and raised outside of this country. I grew up in South America, and then I came to the United States for education, and then I worked in Europe for many years. So I think that is knowledge as well. You have life knowledge.
Yeah, life knowledge.
You have life knowledge, and so then that's something that I think most of my colleagues don't have. They're missing that.
So they are missing that, and that is essential.
Right, and it is essential in the sense of you don't have to go to Rome like I did and work there for 4 years. You can actually just move away from your hometown instead of just staying in New York. Go to San Francisco or go to Philadelphia or go to a different town and work to broaden your horizons.
Exactly. And what do you think? What would you be the advice for the millennials right now?
The lovely millennials.
Yes, yes.
Listen, the millennials are
how to succeed in this society.
Okay, the millennials are probably one of the most highly educated generations of our time. So we know they're smart. We know that they have, great IQs. But what I think they're lacking is EQ, which is emotional intelligence. It's this aspect of understanding and having self-awareness of yourself and how you fit into society. Because there are so many different aspects of a job that go beyond just your smarts. You have to also be self-aware of even how you dress at work.
Yes.
I see so many millennials, they come to work in their ripped jeans and t-shirt and they think it's cool.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to be promoted to be a VP, it's going to be a factor because everything goes into it. It goes into the knowledge you have when you're talking to someone. Are you reading the newspaper so you're up on current events?
Yes.
Are you well put together? Are you understanding what's going on in the world of the arts?
Yes.
Do you understand the difference between wines and you know how to hold a knife and fork?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a
and conversation is very important. And I
Yes.
was laughing because behind the camera you were telling me that you need to know a little bit about the news that is not the Kardashians.
Yes, please when you're sitting down with your boss at dinner or with a client, more importantly, please have something beyond what's going on with the Kardashians as a conversation topic.
Yes.
Know what's going on in the world and culture.
Exactly.
Just read the newspaper.
I totally agree with you. And very briefly, what do you think is the message that society is missing in relation to the corporate woman?
A corporate woman. We're women, and we shouldn't be competing against women in this big Me Too era versus men. I would say just be great. Be great in whatever you do.
It has to. If you are an assistant, you have to be a great assistant.
Right.
If you are sweeping the floor, be the best floor sweeper, right?
Just be great and you'll move up. That's why it doesn't really matter what title you have when you come out of college. Get into a great company, do a great job, and you will succeed. If you have the right knowledge as well. All bundled up in that perfect package.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your advice with our great audience. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. And so Sexy Stainless Talk. And remember to tune in next Friday at 12 for another timely sexy assets. And we do never know who is going to be our guest. So stay sexy and timeless. Besitos.
Cheers.